Okay, I want to say something. Oh, how I found out that the apartment I'm staying at is the apartment number where I'm staying at in June. Well, the end of May, beginning of June. How do I know the number? Because they don't really tell you those details until 2 weeks prior. I found out anyway. And this is a point you've got to be careful what information you put through the internet. Of course, this is not a problem. As just an individual, I wouldn't be doing anything questionable, of course. I know the number. Prior, there's details out there. Of course, I looked at images and I looked at parking spaces next to these apartments where I'm staying and was able to discern the geometry and uh, the alignment of the parking spaces are in line with the apartments that you're staying with. So, a number of things, two and two together, I knew the exact apartment. Now, I got the postcode of the apartment as well. This is privately owned. And of course, I'm not going to share any of that. But here's where I'm making a point is yeah, sure, there's images and pictures and things that I've shared out there that could be used to geolocate me. There's other stuff I've put out there that could really, really throw people off if they really wanted to try and put some analysis together and try and track me down for whatever reason. Now, doxing is illegal. Yeah, by definition, this is like, sure, postcodes, zip codes, addresses are public information. However, to use it for malicious purposes, that's harassment. That's illegal, and so I'm not going to share where that apartment is. It's privately owned and it's rented out for people who want to have a breakaway. Beautiful scenery and ocean views and all this. And they share plenty of information about the building itself and so on. I know the number because, well, images are shared of it and there's a bit of guttering out on one side of the building that might have got a bit dirty or muddy and it's leaked a bit onto the wall next to it. So you got a bit of muddiness on the wall because against the contrast of nice white paint. And there's that, and the geometry of the back window shape is different to the others that's on the pictures. And you know, in line with that is car parking spaces in line with that. So I looked in line with a parking space that had a number and zoomed in, and there it is. And then looked at a backdoor picture. You can barely even see it, but it is marked on a. You see these dotted around in the UK if you open your eyes and are aware of your surroundings enough. Most people are not, unfortunately. There's combination lock things to put a combination thing in, which are incredibly easy to open, by the way. There's another problem out there. It's like if people are really savvy, they could geolocate a place and just go in. Although, once the person's got hold of the keys and they just, there's a combination lock, and you open this box and the keys are in there. But what I do like about them doing that is, there's like camping sites, holiday parks in the UK. I'm not for that. I don't like that. It's okay if families with kids, you got resources to keep kids happy and occupied while you're there, and they're safe. It's all on site. As one individual, I go private. It's way cheaper, and I don't have to have any bullshit in my face, leaflets, or if you're interested in this, go here and then go to the clubhouse and this. No. I like being looked after, but I do not like fussing. I cannot stand being fussed over. Um, so basically, you just keep that in mind. I've found out the number of this, and I don't think that that's wise for any company to do that because people are broken through the internet to a degree of which there's a lot of tribalistic having one say out there. Um, People always want the last word. So if somebody's like, "Oh, I'm annoyed with this certain company or this person who privately owns this building," well, then you can discern these buildings, the the environment of the productivity of the internet, the bells and whistles, Google Earth, and images of apartments here and there. Every apartment's got its postcode. But when you fill out postcodes in the UK or different deliveries and things, it will come out with automation. Look for the number. So then you got it more direct, right? If you've got the postcode, though, it could be any number. However, I'm not somebody who's criminal like that. I wouldn't utilize it for a detriment because I respect the service enough to say, hey, lovely apartment, thank you for doing what you do to keep things clean and maintained for people's break away from the norms, right? I guarantee there's somebody out there, though, who could do some. Well, there are people out there that just, as soon as they get postcode, it's like send letters and send stuff here and there. It's just, and it's easy. It's also easy to track down who sends things, whether it's digital or physical. People are way more savvy with that, and law enforcement are way more savvy than that than people realize. And I see documents being put out there as well where bits are blanked off to protect a particular individual. I've seen that before on various occasions, regardless of who, what individuals, and you might get a tertiary shape of just off the top of a letter or a row of numbers, but you just get a tiny bit, and then there's perhaps a red line through it or black line, whatever, to blank things out. It's surprisingly easy if enough of just the beginning of the top of the shape there is discern what numbers there are, especially if someone's name is clear as well, and the perhaps county or, as the case of America, state they live in. This is a warning out there. Be extremely careful how you share your information and other people's information as well. I think people are underappreciative of the side effect, underestimate then the side effect of the potentials out there of people being harassed. And we've seen it. We know who comes to mind of a certain harassment group with a bunch of people know about that I mingle with and know about as well. So there's that in mind as well. Yeah, it's so easy. And haters out there often dox themselves and then claim that they were doxed by whoever they are targeting, right? Particularly, you might find somebody who's revealed themselves on a PayPal account or some other merchant account. Ridiculous. We got like maybe a GoFundMe account or whatever. And, Stripe accounts as well, whatever. All these different things. And all it takes for somebody else to say, hey, look, because they share it very directly and then pretend that they didn't do it. So that's a problem as well. Dysfunctional people who are hateful through the internet, claiming that they're victims of being doxxed when they dox themselves, and those people then try to twist things to condone doxing innocent people. Yeah, it's a nasty circle. So I just want to say, be very, very careful because I found out the apartment number of this before I should even be able to. And a friend of mine said, "Well, how'd you do that? How'd you?" And it's just people underestimate. The just the looking at uh, maybe some mud coming off a dirty gutter and an image of the back of the apartment. There's that, and the car park, parking spaces are designated to each apartment. It's in line with the one with a bit of dirt coming off the gutter, and it otherwise looks nice. And it's only a little bit of tarnished dirt or something that obviously the gutter leaked a little bit and it's come down through. It's only a tiny bit, and that's easily fixable. From what I've heard about the apartment, though, customer comments, um, very appreciative, well kept, tidy, clean, and yeah, just they couldn't praise it enough. Yeah, I know is precisely what number to look for before I'm told, because I put some things together by looking at the certain shape of the building, where it is the dirty gutter bit, and what else it lines up with. Even though these are separate pictures, you can, well, if you've got a good sense of 3D space, you can line things up in your head. Some people can't do that. Some people kind of see things flat. Other people can sort of discern how things move in 3 dimensions, a good sense of depth, width, and height, spatial awareness. Um, so you find those people do well on so-called IQ tests with spatial awareness. And I like to play with the puzzles like that as myself as well. It's fun, and spatial awareness is above average for me. But then, who's not taking those tests? Who is probably also above average? How do they discern? How many people out there before would do something then before they say, "Oh, this is not that much above." Different types of intelligence out there. And that's what's not appreciative of haters through the internet. They expect everyone to be like them, as broken as them. Assume people are doing things in ways in which is bad because that's what they would do. You see that a lot, and that gets people absolutely nowhere, especially in person to person contact. But the biggest problem with this is denialism that there's anything wrong with them. So, what's the uh, outlet then? Where can they move forward, if at all? They can't, not with people. So, they try through the internet without person to person contact anyway. And just because they get the attention that they're missing in people in person to person life, they get addicted to that. Some people grovel and beg and cry for attention so much through the internet that it's really sad to see. But it's a big advert for everyone else to see that. Say, this person definitely has no life. When you do 10 to 15 tweets per hour, someone in person evolved from 9 tweets to that. And I still call them tweets. They're an individual that claims people, their targets are PDFs. Play on words, you know what I'm saying, PDFs. Well, they're the one using X.com excessively, and the owner of X.com is very questionable around some Epsteinish comings and goings. As soon as I learned that, I deleted my X.com. I was only reminded I got one via the hater anyway. Thank you very much. It's the first time I've seen him get anything right or correct. Yeah. Blue Sky Social I find far more friendlier for progress, I guess. Although you're going to find questionable stuff on Blue Sky as well, if you know where to look. And maybe haters here and there, but I like to think that it's not owned or run by very questionable people, right? Just keep it in mind. Be extremely careful what you put out there. Oh, the internet. There's plenty I can find out and have found out about certain individuals, and I'm sure plenty of other people have done the same. But because myself and other individuals have morals, we don't do anything with it maliciously. You just go, "Oh, that's interesting. I thought so. Perhaps if it backs up some of your conclusions, anyway, some of your suspicions, and then you conclude and how things crystallize for you." Keeping it in mind, please, for fuck's sake. I see too many people sharing things that people who are naive and they just share and share and share without question. Some people overshare, and I like to share some things I'm working on and doing and where I'm going to be, and like South West England, where I go every year. Beautiful part of the country. I have friends there as well. And thank you to those friends for sending me some pictures of the Northern Lights that happened some weeks back. It was they said it was the biggest they've seen. It was purples, greens, and blues across the sky, looking over the ocean. Beautiful. Yeah. I hope to see some beautiful sunsets over that ocean right there, and I might snap some pictures and share that by the time I get back. I won't be using the internet the way I use it right now, like I'm using it now as much, but I might be using it for a bit of research for certain locations, different places in the area, bit of research about the ancient forest that is just off the coastline there. That is preserved ancient forest, 5,600 years old. Amazing, right? If I can find, because sometimes it's not, you don't even know it's there. Other times it's exposed because it's kind of, the ocean comes in and washes peat and mud around the area, and that's which is preserving it. Sometimes it washes it back out a bit, and a bit is revealed. Sometimes it's buried. This is also further in of the beach line where I'm staying is a hull of a boat. The wooden bits, wooden panels just broken there and stuck into the ground, into the sand a bit. Sometimes you see it, sometimes you don't. Depends how much sand is washed up. Other times it's exposed. So it's a beach with definitely a beach with character. There's things that get buried and exposed a lot all the time, and that's just one more thing of interest in the area. There's a lot of history there. Thank you very much for listening. I did this one off camera because I am just back from work. I still have my work clothes on. I don't want to reveal too much information because logos and things are now on the front of the uniform rather than the back. Much nicer uniform to wear. Feels more like civilian clothes, but yeah, you know haters online are. Cheers. Thanks for listening. Bye.